Hello everybody, I'm Philip Duncan. Thanks for joining us. Well, we're tracking a subtropical low. Now remember last week I talked about a belt of low pressure that was forming north of New Zealand. Well, that is formed just to the north of the screen here. All of that is low pressure, while down to the south, this is a big belt of high pressure. So this low is deepening and it is pushing southwards. So there are two things going on. The low itself, which has got a bit of wind and rain around the center, and then the squash zone, that's all these easterly quarter winds between the center of that low and the big high that's still down to the south. This is 6 o'clock tonight, Monday. You can see this is all low pressure. There's another low there. This is this big belt of low pressure to our north. A low has deepened more than this one over here, and this is the one clearly moving in towards us. Strong winds, gale force around the center of it, so it makes it what we like to call a storm. And the winds between that low and the high just to the south going to create even stronger easterly quarter winds, and they might even reach severe gale. On top of that, there's one or two areas of quite heavy rain, and that's also moving southwards, and this is how we think it's going to be. The areas in bright blue are the heaviest amounts. That's where you're talking totals of 120, maybe 150 millimeters of rain. Now I have to stress though, that small area that produces that heavy downpour is actually quite isolated, and not everyone's going to get it. So it is going to track down these areas. Not everybody will get 150 millimeters, but those are the highest risk areas for that heavy rain. Lunchtime Tuesday, you can see that low and the heavy downpours. Strong winds, mostly between the center of that low and the high just to the south. So this squash zone of easterlies being pushed through, it curves around and turns more of a southwester to the north there and more of a north to northeasterly further south. Once we get to Wednesday, that low, it's weakening. It's not a very aggressive system. It's just got pockets of heavy rain and strong winds. So by lunchtime Wednesday, it's lying around the central part of the country and those heavy downpours moving down around Canterbury. Further north, all eyes are on field days, which is kicking off. We thought the easterlies would still be going, but the easterlies, the southeasterlies are all moving down to the South Island. So you've got a slight west to southwest wind, maybe a couple of light showers. Trust me, it is nothing to worry about for you at field days. And by Thursday, Mystery Creek looks fantastic. Bit of a southwest breeze, can't rule out a little bit of mist, that sort of usual stuff. But it does look mainly dry. There's a big high just to the north there, and that low finally starting to drift away. And we end on Friday, where the next set of weather is coming in. We've got easterlies to kick off this week, but we'll be ending the week with west to northwest winds. In fact, Saturday's weather lying out to sea there is showery nor'westers coming out of Australia, fairly mild stuff. But as for Friday, a few showers coming in. It's still mostly dry though in Waikato for field days, and further south, most of these eastern areas are pretty dry after perhaps a bit of a wet start to the week. So just to recap, go to the Weather Watch website, or if you're using our app, go to the news section on it. We've got all the latest maps, including that rainfall map. We've got a 24-hour accumulation one and a 48-hour one. They're really helpful to figure out just where the worst bursts of rain will be, and the wind as well. But please do remember, it's quite isolated, so there'll be plenty of other areas that have just the normal standard sort of June weather. One last thing, this week is looking warmer than average because of the easterlies, and then they turn west later on in the week. So it's not going to be the coldest of weeks. We're going to get down to around freezing in some places, but generally speaking, frost-free for a lot of places. That's all from me. We'll catch you again on Tuesday.